At this moment in time, we're all implicated in a huge global shift. Everything is changing. People are fighting. We're seeing the beginnings of a rift in humanity.
It's inspiring to see so many people taking action right now. We realized as filmmakers that we have an important part to play. We have the tools to join the fight and combat the rising darkness. So together, we built a vehicle that we believe will help turn the tide.
Outcastle, a web series dystopian drama told over 8 10-minute episodes with an important message. The future might look bleak, but we still have time to change it.
We are going to build this dystopian future out of our current reality. We're working with Nicholas Badminton, a renowned futurist, to develop a thoughtful picture of what North America might look like in 50 years. Each episode will begin with illustrated panels depicting the steps that society took to go from the present day to dystopia. The character of Avery's mom, Penelope, will narrate over these graphic novel-style panels as she tells how dystopia came to be. So, not only are we showing the future, not only are we showing this world that we are so fearful will come true, but we will be telling the tale of how it happened. One part in graphic novel style, and the rest in gritty live-action science fiction.
Our two protagonists, Avery and London, come from two opposing sides in this dystopian future. Avery works with the resistance, fighting against Utopia and its totalitarian regime. London comes from the city of Utopia, and she's sent to infiltrate the resistance and sabotage their plans. The city of Utopia uses drone technology to try and locate where the resistance is based. Avery and the resistance, in turn, hack the drones to try and use them against the city. Ultimately, each of them has to learn that the only way to make change is to fight for it and never stand down.
With Outcastle, we are dealing with cramped conditions. We are shrinking the world down for our characters and creating a claustrophobic environment. This will show the oppression that has forced them into an overcrowded and overpopulated home rife with hardship and humanity. Keeping the majority of our shots as interiors, keeping it tight and dark, we can tell our story without having to spend too much money, because future dystopia can happen right at home.
By launching our own film festival and working closely with partner events, we've developed a clear picture of our target audience. They're young, urban, educated, disillusioned by the political changes going on around them. They want content that's relevant and worth talking about with their friends. We're also launching a microdoc film challenge to connect us with socially conscious filmmakers who will support the show and begin forming promotional partnerships with special interest groups whose initiatives coincide with the show's episodic themes. Social media is about building relationships. Growing an audience online is one thing, but gaining its trust is another. That's where content comes in. Consistent pieces of well-developed content is what captures audiences, giving them multiple opportunities to interact with the show. We've got some great secondary content planned. A webcomic built around the illustrations used in the show. A podcast discussing Outcastle's themes with futurists and social activists. An immersive experience for VR and 360, explaining how and why Utopia isolated itself. This additional content will create a cycle of engagement and will lead back to the show's dedicated assets, catching audiences' attention, keeping them excited for the show's release.
Sean and I have worked together for years, making short films, music videos, commercials, and virtual reality. And we are really excited to finally work with Anaisa, who has just wrapped production on Send Us Smokes, her Hot Shots winning script. We have put together a hell of a team, and we have big plans for this show. We will be using modest but striking visual effects to illustrate the division between Outcastle and the city, the disparity in technology, and the conflict between two cultures, each trying to endure. We'll be mixing atmospheric exterior footage with high-quality production design to express the reality of a futuristic refugee sanctuary, and a soundscape that epitomizes the emptiness left behind after social decay, with an engaging score that imagines the resilient culture of the survivors.
We're living in a time of extremes, and a time in which everyone's voice can be heard. There's never really been a time like this before. We're building upon centuries of creation and art that has fed into the present. Now it's time for us to make art that's going to reflect the future.